we should do that tier list we were talking about before. The hardest WoW class to level in hardcore. Let's have a gander. So, what are we going to do it by? Let's do it by the best hardcore class to level, like the easiest ones. So, Druid. What are we thinking? Personally, I don't play Druid. I think they're somewhere around here. I think they're dog shit. A? B? Really? B? Listen, you get in the cave, you're up shit creek. What do you have? Nature's Grasp? Does that work indoors? That does work indoors, right? I mean, yeah, bear form. You can bear form with hot sup. But if you ever get into a situation where you just have to press W and run, you're fucked. If you're a Tauren, yeah, you have War Stomp, which isn't so bad, but you don't have any, like, panic buttons like, you know, Mage's Blink or Paladin's Bubble. You have some outdoor stuff in the form of, you know, Nature's Grasp, Travel Form, and stuff like that. You're like, outside, I'd say A tier. Inside, I would say, like, lowest of B tier. Stun, Feral Charge, Shadow Meld. Shadow Meld doesn't work in combat though, does it, in vanilla? I mean, what do you get out of it? You get, what, movement speed, outdoors, armor. There's nothing that good, in my mind. Roots isn't the same for questing. I mean, outside... But if you ever fuck up and you pull a shitload of stuff, you're up shit creek, especially in caves. Like, the amount of druids you see die in caves is a lot, because they lose a lot of their toolkit. I think B is a safe bet for Druid. I'm probably not the one to criticize it too much, but from what I've seen of Druid, I think B is fine and fair. And from there, we will move on to Hunter. So, Hunter, you get Feign Death at like 30, you get your Pet at 10, you're pretty much useless 1 to 10 if you're a shit player. Freezing Traps, Concussive Shots, Cheetah, Wing Clip. I think Hunter is extremely strong. I also think it is a real tough choice between S and A. It's either the bottom of S or it's the top of A. I might leave it as A for now, just to see like where the classes end up. But my problem for me is that if Feign Death resists, or if you don't have Feign Death up, you're kind of up shit creek if you're in like a really tight spot. Yeah, you have your pet if you're a good player. You know, Wing Clip, Concussive Shot, you have loads of slows to get away from stuff and then into Cheetah. But in those moments where it's a clown fiesta, I think it can only be like high A or low S. Because there are like very specific circumstances where you will and can get absolutely shafted. Yeah, I mean, how's Aaron put it? If you're a shit player, it's probably like a B, right? If you're a sick player, it's an S, easy. It depends on how well a player can use their toolkit in a shit situation. So yeah, I think personally I'm going to keep it as the very top of A, because it meets that middle ground, and that's probably how I'd play it as well in hardcore, is an A, or even lower because I'd die because I try and melee weave shit. But yeah, I think A is fair. Mage, S. Go next. So fucking overpowered, okay? Ice Armor, if someone punches you, and it's not like 10 levels above you, it's gonna get slowed, and then you just fucking run away. Ice Block, if you ever get like a shitload of debuffs on you, you wanna drop aggro. Blink, straight 20 yards, run away. That is so broken in hardcore. That's like an extra 5-6 seconds to get away from a leash. Absolutely busted. Mana Shield, Ice Barrier, Absorptions is ridiculous. Frost Nova to root. Yeah, Frostbolt to slow specific things if you don't need to use Ice Armor. So many absolutely busted things. Polymorph as well. Obviously, if you have improved Blizzard, you can kite a shitload of mobs if you somehow pull a load. The only thing that Mage lacks is, you know, it is based on the player's skill. If you're like AoE farming and you're a shit player, it's going to be like down here, right, while you learn. But there's so many things in its toolkit, it's crazy. And the only way you die is if you somehow massively fuck up and pull like 2 or 3 things 10 levels above you. It is absolutely busted in my mind. But then is the hard thing. At a low level, I mean, even at a low level, you have Frost Nova, you have Polymorph, you have Ice Armor. You get hit, you hit something with Ice Armor, you just press W, you just run off. It's so overpowered having Ice Armor, it's crazy. And that's why I mean, obviously unless it's like Frost immune, but what are the chances of that? So that's why it's very comfortably S tier for me. And then is the second hardest choice is Paladin. S tier. As long as the person knows how to use bubble and how it affects leash timers, you cannot die. You know, 6 to 12 seconds of immunity is completely ridiculous. Hand of Freedom to get you out of roots. Hodge to stun things instantly if you need to run. Obviously also being mail and plate, so you have more absorption is quite nice as well. Lay on Hands isn't even affected by Forbearance, which is completely ridiculous. It is absolutely madness. It's hard to say if it's better or worse than Mage. What do you guys think? Because lower level, I would say Mage has more survivability until Paladin gets that like 10-12 second bubble. Worse? It's also melee. Oh yeah, Paladins can die out of mana, so can Mages. Yeah, I would agree. I think Mage just has that little bit more of survivability than Paladin, even with the amount of bubbles and lay on hands and stuff. Also, cooldowns is something that's worth mentioning on Paladin. You know, an hour on lay on hands and talented can be the difference maker. 5 minutes on the, you know, bubbles and things like that. 30 seconds on, or was it 22 seconds on Hand of Freedom? Who gives a fuck about damage? We're talking about pure fucking survivability. Is Gary never played WoW in his life? Is he gonna survive on a Mage, or is he gonna survive on a Paladin? To the highest level. My bet would probably be Mage. Probably be Mage. As soon as you get to level 20, you're chilling. 1 to 20, Pally for sure. 20 to 50, I'd say Mage, and then 50 to 60, I'd say Paladin. It is like, I would say Mage edges it just barely. Barely. I'm gonna stick with this. Priest. I have no idea. You know, you have a lot of decent things, but you don't have anything that's like insane. A, really? I mean, you have a shit Paladin bubble. You have quite a bit of self-heal that is off the leash refresh. So, you know, you got your Desperate Prayer for more health, Renew, that you can cast while moving. You got your Power Word Shield you can cast while moving. You have a lot of just straight up like chunky health things to like give you a bit more survivability when you're running. Obviously Fear, which can be good if you use it in a situation where you're running. Obviously you can't use it versus Undead, which can be a bit sketchy. So if you overpull in like Raven Hill, for instance, it's a bit monka. Mind Control, I think, is worth mentioning. If you can, like, Mind Control two elites versus each other, I think that's pretty cool. Shackle Undead for a root versus Undead. I don't know. It doesn't have those fail-safes that, you know, Hunters, Paladins, and Mages have. It doesn't have that. It has a lot of health. It has a lot of, like, you know, shit to save you if you do get in a shit situation. But it doesn't have something that's like, alright, press this button. Okay, I'm gonna live. You don't have that. I mean, obviously they're amazing in dungeons, but I don't know where I'd put them. They're kind of like Druids in the way. You know, Druids have bear form, where they're just super tanky, whereas Priests are not super tanky, but they just have a lot of health, or things that can give you instant health. Worse than Druid. I see people say it's better than Druid, and then worse than Druid. Low A? A for sure. I don't know, man. I never in my mind was thinking C or D. I was not considering this at all. I was thinking around, I was probably more like very high B. But I'm thinking like, is it better than a Druid? It's not better than a Hunter. We can all agree on that. Is it better than a Druid? I think that's what we have to, I think that's what we have to agree on. Dwarf, oh yeah, Anti-Fear. That's difficult, actually. Yeah, but as long as a Druid is outside, they can solo a lot of elite quests as well. Dwarf gets Desperate Prayer, which I was thinking of. Oh yeah, Shadow Form as well gives you more physical damage reduction at 40. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna go above the Druid. I'm gonna say it's high B. I think it has a bit more survivability than Druid. Or does it? Because Druid has move speed, right? Priest has no move speed. I might actually go here. I might actually go here. Because Druid has the instant move speed, like, in travel form outside. Which gives them that, get the fuck out of, you know, bullshit. Also, yeah, exactly, shift out of roots. Druids are worse in caves, but priests, I think, are still slightly worse overall. I would let Druid just edge it. It's like, you know, this if you are more scared of caves, this if you're more scared of the outside. I think that's how you're supposed to do it. Dispel magic. Roll? I'm not rolling, man. I think we'll leave these two here for now. Okay, Rogue. What are we thinking, boys? Low B, A, S. Solid A. I would agree in it being A. I think it's below Hunter. I think it's better than Druid. You have your panic button, Vanish, and you get that at like level 30. Oh, actually no, it's earlier, isn't it? 22. That's pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie. And then you get Sprint at level 10. Gouge for running, Kick for running. Sprint for running obviously is crazy. Blind. Kidney Shot for running. You know, if you go sub, you can, you know, double Vanish, which is crazy. Crippling Poison, true. Evasion, Crippling Poison. I think it depends on the player, but I think a Rogue is very easily A tier. I don't think it's quite as good as Hunter, because Hunter has a pet. And, pretty much the same thing as Rogue, just a bit more consistent, arguably. But yeah, I think it's very comfortably A tier. I don't think there's much more to say. As long as you're, you don't go all gung-ho when your Vanish is on cooldown, or you fight mobs at like 5 levels above you, right? I think it's very safely A. Right, Shaman. What are you thinking, lads? I have not played a Shaman in hardcore. I don't really rate it that highly. Because, what do you have? Earthbind, Stoneclaw, 1 second cast from Ghost Wolf. You don't really have any instantaneous heal or recovery. Frost Shock. Yeah, all you have is slows and then a 1 second cast time runner, right? Stoneclaw Totem as well. Is Nature Swiftness really... They have Nature Swiftness? It's hard to say. I mean, how many points down is it? Let's see, oh wait, here we go. If it's like... That's far down, man, I don't know. I mean, you're gonna go for fucking Totemic Mastery, man. Like, fuck. That is really, really low down. And then, you know, Improved Ghost Wolf is still gonna be a 1 second cast time. None of this is really, really any good. In any sense of the word. So you're gonna get fuck all while leveling. Ghost Wolf only outdoors as well. If I could visually put it at the very bottom of C tier, I would. I'd put it like over here. I think the only reason it's not D tier is because it can heal itself. Otherwise, it just lacks any sort of like good healing. It's only got a slow to escape. Yeah, you can use a shield, which gives you more tankability, but it doesn't, you know, Stoneclaw. Yeah, I mean, when I think of it like that, I'm almost like in my mind thinking that Warrior might be better than Shaman, because, you know, Warrior has Fear, it has Shield Block, it has Hamstring. Granted, a lot of these require Rage. I'm almost borderline thinking it, but the only reason I don't want to pummel, true. I mean, Shaman has Earthshock, which is better than that. I think Shaman is marginally better. Marginally. Just ever so slightly marginal. Yeah, if you like, let's say you pull like 6 things, slap down a Stoneclaw, they go to that Stoneclaw, you get like 15 yards away, slap down an, you know, an Earthbind, you're gone. You'll be able to, you know, Ghost Wolf in that time and shit as well. I think Shaman might be a tiny bit better than Warrior, but not much. But yeah, I think it's comfortably a C or a D tier. Like, the very bottom of C is what I do. Warlock. What your boys playing right now? S, A? Easily S, really? I mean, let's say... This is what you're doing if you're a Warlock in hardcore, and you're actually, like, sweating it out, right? You're going for Fell Domination, you're gonna run a fucking Void Walker, you're gonna use double Sacrifice, and you're gonna have, like, you know... 2 times as much health as you think you have. And you have Health Stone. And you have a pet for taunting. But my only problem is you don't have that button. You know, this is a panic button that you just slap with your hand, right? That, you know, rogues have Vanish, hunters have Feign, paladins have Bubble, mages have, you know, Blink. Howl of Terror, again, it's like, can resist, won't work versus undead. Soul Link? Where the fuck is Soul Link again, man? Oh yeah, but it's all the way down at level, level 50, right? Or 40? Wait, 14, 19, 24, or 20, 20... I can't... 40, thank you. I'm losing my mind, man. But that's still, like, quite a big chunk. You don't have Howl of Terror until, like, level 30 as well. Yeah, level 40. So you don't have that until level 40, you don't have your Soul Link until level 40, you have Double Fell Domination Sack at 20. Yeah, for me, it lacks the get out of jail free button that Rogues and Hunt, that all these 4 have. I think at the bottom of A tier is fair. It doesn't have, again, yeah, it doesn't have the extra move speed that Mage has through Blink, that Paladin has through Pursuit of Justice, Hunt has through Cheetah, Rogue has through Sprint. It's like a better Druid Priest. I think it has more options available than them, just outside of not having the mobility. How the hell is Pally S? Pally can just press Divine Bubble and run, and then the leash breaks. And then Pally can also, you know, lay on hands as well, because it's not on the Forbearance. I think it's very comfortably... I think Pally's fine. I think this is also right. I think Warlock at the bottom of A tier is a pretty cozy choice. And then obviously as you know, get higher in the levels and you get more options available through, you know, Fell Domination, and then you get to 40 and you get your Soul Link, you get Howl of Terror, you get... Curse of Exhaustion, I think, is actually worth mentioning if you go Affliction. I've seen it save Gizu a few times. That's not bad either, because that works on quite a lot of mobs, but again, it's like... it's hard to... I think the lack of a pure panic button is why Warlock is here, especially if you get silenced. Warrior, I think it goes here. I don't think it's D tier. I don't think it's complete dog shit, because you have... I mean, it is shit. It is very shit. I won't deny it's shit. You know, you have your Shield Wall, you have Hamstring, you have Intimidating Shout, you have, I mean, Mail Plate can be quite useful as well. Because it doesn't have a heal, or a consistent heal, I would say it is worse than Shaman. I don't think it deserves D tier anymore, to be honest. I really don't think it does. Because I was really questioning if it's better than Shaman. But as you, like, level up, I have a feeling, like, toward the later levels, that Warrior is probably better than Shaman as well. Yeah, it's got the fear. Granted, again, it doesn't work versus undead, but you can still, like, spam Hamstring. You have Shield Wall as well. It's like, what, 10 seconds of 75% less damage? Yeah, Jesus, that's crazy, you know that? And instant cast, you just have to switch to defensive stance, switch to your tanky set if you have one. Press that, it's nearly a bubble. If you look at it that way, it's nearly a Paladin bubble, just on a 30-minute cooldown. And yeah, Retaliation, I think, is worth considering as well. But I just... Yeah, but if you want the mobs to unleash, you do Shield Wall. And then you go defensive stance as well. That will give you a shitload of tank ability. I still am of the mindset that because Shamans can heal themselves, they are better. Like, if a warrior is in a cave, they are fucked. Like, if they're in a really tight spot, fucked. What are you gonna do? Fear into more mobs. Or, you know, Hamstring Kite to where? You can't do anything. Whereas Shaman, I think... I mean, they have Retail, actually. They do have Retail if they have it up. Shaman is just as fucked as Warrior. Genuinely, I don't know if I put this here. I don't know. I'm like thinking in my mind between these two, but I think generally you can intercept a mob. Yeah, totems work inside, but totems aren't all that good, to be honest. They're quite shit in vanilla. I don't know, man. I really want to. You got, listen, Stoneclaw into Ghost Wolf Run, along with Earthbind, versus a more, like, offensively minded way of doing things, where if you're, like, stuck in a spot, you have more chance of survivability. It is not D tier. I think I will die on that hill. It's not D tier. I don't know if I should put it above Shaman. Yeah, I mean, if you're a shit player, I would say Shaman. If you're a half-decent player, I think Warrior has more tools than a Shaman. When we're doing a Warrior-Shaman duo, I'd rather someone just, like, fucking... Never mind. You know what I usually say. But, I could not play Horde, I could not play Shaman, I could not play Warrior. I mean, let's say you're getting chased by Stitches. You're level 30. You're, you know, level 35. He resists all the slows and shit. This guy's surviving. Unless he gets dazed in Ghost Wolf. If you pull in a cave, I'd put my money more so on Warrior. I'm so fucking... I have no idea. Listen, how about we oversimplify it? 1 to 30, Shaman is better. 30 to 60, Warrior is better. Done. Overall, 30 to 60 takes longer, so we're putting Warrior above Shaman. Prove me wrong. Classic change my mind play. Honestly, I have no idea. You see the clip of Joker dying at level 8 on Warrior just from RNG? I mean, yeah, there's also a clip that's very similar to that, where Statics dies to a yellow mob just from RNG. As I said, that like 1 to 20, 1 to 30 is where it's pretty shit. After that, you start getting more tools, you start getting Retal, Shield Wall, Intimidating Shout. You start getting cool shit that allows you to survive these kind of things. I think Shaman is better 1 to 30, because, you know, you get your Earthbind quick, you get your Stoneclaw quick, you can, you know, actually kill the yellow mobs 2 levels above you, you have heals. I think it is what Law Spot said, but I think we have grown enough, on average, as a community, skill level wise, to where I think Warrior can now be above Shaman. I think we're good. I think that's it. I think D is good for Warrior if you're like the shittest player on planet Earth, but 30 plus, it actually gets enough utility to not be shit. Whereas pretty so low, because it is shit. Rank profession, fuck professions, bro. Fuck that.